So after completing various objectives, Konami are letting us pick one of these 5 legends, and I think the community is debating between picking David Villa, Wesley Sneijder, or even Belletti if you need a fullback. But I got my hands on this David Villa early by using them on one of my subscribers' accounts, and in today's video I'm going to say reasons why I think you should strongly consider picking David Villa as your legend. So we all know David Villa is a great goal scorer, but what I think makes him an actual elite tier striker is his general build-up play. So this is the goal you seen a second ago, but you can see there he actually created the chance by playing the through ball into Hazard, and then his great offensive awareness meant when the ball goes loose, he gets on the end of it there. And that's another lofted pass, which is very surprising. It's very hard to find a striker that can play a lofted pass, with David Villa was able to do it fine. And then just general build-up play in these 1-2s, he's just great in these areas because he's got the passing skills and stats, and he's got the good dribbling, so he's good under pressure. And then he finds Drogba, the new Drogba, who can put it in the back of the net. So here's another instance of his high attacking awareness. The ball comes loose to him, he takes it down with his good ball control, and then on the half volley, while kind of facing the wrong direction, he puts it in the back of the net. When I scored that on stream, I was kind of gone crazy because volleys are pretty poor on this game. So it was very interesting that he was able to score it. Here he is creating a chance for himself with the ball roll. Now you won't be able to do that ball roll at the start if you don't put any skills in them. You're going to have to put flip-flap on them, so I definitely recommend that. And I'll be doing the full skill recommendations after these clips. Here he is, some good dribbling, plays it into Hazard, who also does a ball roll and puts it into the bottom corner. So it just kind of shows how good ball roll is. Good general link-up play here. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper. I'm trying to outside curl it, but you can see that he actually gets it in the back of the net with a normal finesse shot. And that's very telling. Usually if you try to do a finesse shot with your right foot into the bottom left corner, it doesn't really work. You have the keeper will save it or it'll go wide. But if you do get that kind of goal, and then the animation where the keeper dives the wrong way, it kind of shows you that his finished stats, whether it's his finishing and kicking power, make him an elite tier player. But you can see he also scored the outside curler after that when he got the chance. So when we look at his build, you can see immediately how well rounded he is. All of those physical stats at 90 plus, that looks amazing. Now if we compare David Villa to other top tier strikers, I think Villa's finishing is going to feel slightly worse than Luis Suarez's. But you will feel like a better dribbler because of that extra balance. So I think the biggest comparison you can make for Villa is this Romario, and honestly, stats wise, I think Villa has better stats. He has more dribbling, he has the same finishing but more curl, he has a lot more passing, and the rest of the stats, he's got more kicking power as well, David Villa. This David Villa is a really top tier card, and he's a better playstyle than Romario. So Fox in the box will mostly work in a formation like this with 1 striker and 2 wingers. Now Romario tends to be the exception because he's such a unique Fox in the box, he can fit in a narrow formation like this. But since David Villa is a goal poacher, he'll fit in perfectly. Now before we move on to Villa's skills, there is one other striker I want to compare him to, and it's this Torres. This Torres is amazing. I have him on my free to play account. Honestly, one of the best strikers I've used in eFootball. So if you want to know the build and my recommendations on the skills for this Torres, I have a video on that, because it might be smart to go for this Torres with your 500 coins, which you can easily get as a free to play player, and then choose Sneijder or Belletti. David Villa is a better player, but in terms of pure finishing, I think Torres is going to be just as good as David Villa. So for the skills I'd recommend on David Villa, I'd put flip-flap on, as we mentioned earlier. I would also put true passing on, just because of how good his link-up play and his starting low pass stats are, so that would make him really effective. Also go for the outside curler that I had on in the clips, because you can see he definitely can hit them very well. Then I would go for fighting spirit, just to help him when he's kind of surrounded by defenders. It'll help him under pressure, and then also when his stamina gets low. If he's not your starting striker though, you could just go for a super sub instead. That's up to you. And then for the last skill, I would choose between long range shooting and 1-touch pass. I don't think it's a major dilemma. I would really just go for whichever one you have spare. I usually don't recommend 1-touch pass on strikers, but just because of how much I enjoyed David Villa's passing, I think I would recommend it. And then if you play him in second striker, I do think his 1-touch pass would be more useful than if you played him as centre forward. So really, it's up to you. And I think it's fair to say Konami have done a good job here with letting us pick the players. I think we should be able to clear the pack, but it's definitely a good job that we can clear it, because you can get your hands on a top tier striker like this David Villa. But if any of the other players in the pack interest you, make sure to check out this Torres review, because you can see here 21 games, 45 goals and 8 assists. One of the most underrated cards in eFootball, and I really think this guy went under the radar.